Hello everyone. As you're on the module Independent Study FCH3888 or whatever your module code is depending on which subjects you're studying, I thought it might be useful to do a short video just briefing you about how the second part of your FCH Independent Study module will go, submission, and reminding you about resources that will help you complete this project. So I'm going to do it in terms of a tour of the LE site basically. If you want to go there now, I will just talk you around the various boxes and remind you of where you can find help and support with this module. First of all, if you look in the welcome section, you've got the basic module information there. So you should of course know how long your project is by now, whether it's a 15 credit or 30 credit module that you're undertaking. So a 6,000 word or 12,000 word piece. But please remember down the bottom here, there is also in this box a module handbook. You can click through and it goes onto the module handbook online on the FCH website. So there is further information there just about the basics of the module, which it'll be good to refresh your memory of at this stage of the work. If you look at the assessment information box back on LE again, you can also find that information discussed in more detail. So for example, what counts in the word count and things like that, which are important in planning your final submission. If you go back to the LE site again, you can once again see further pieces of information as you go down. I would remind you, if you haven't given us a title form yet, I think we probably do have title forms for all of you, but if you know you haven't done a title form yet, please can you get one to me as soon as possible. It will include on it not only the title, which is important for our records, but also the form of submission at the bottom and the supervisor's name. So of course we need to know who's going to mark your project, and it won't be me, it will be your expert supervisor who will do that. So it will be marked by your supervisor and within the department where you've undertaken that work. So please remember the title form box as well. There's a module description box which I won't look at now. It does kind of recapitulate the basic information in some of the other boxes. But I would remind you of the assessment criteria box. It's always really important on a talk module to understand the assessment criteria by which your work will be marked. And again, remember your supervisor will be looking at this too. If you click on the writing aids box, I think you'll find some really useful information here. It may be that you've already started writing, you may be well advanced with your writing, or it may be that this is really still to come after a period of research. This will depend on the shape of your project. But remember this box here on the LE site, which is about writing aids. It's got some really useful information about things like referencing, good academic writing, links to study skills opportunities that will really help you to make the project as good as it can be at this stage. Obviously it's a big project, it's your own personal project, it's yours in so many different ways, and we want it to be as good as it can be. So there is lots of independent support for you to help you write this as well as you possibly can. And finally, there are some examples of past work down the bottom of the LE site in the final box. I think they're really useful. Of course, they'll be about different topics than yours, but they are a very broad range of different types of independent study. So they're very good models. We've picked ones which are really excellent and will be really helpful to you in thinking about how you might tackle your project. There's a lot of things you can learn from previous examples, stuff about project design, the overall structuring of the final piece, simply ways of phrasing things, ways of saying things, ways of referencing things, which will help to polish the project as much as it possibly can be. Finally, I want to remind you about your contacts. Your supervisor will be your primary contact because they are the supervisor of the project. They are the academic expert in your area, and they'll be best able to help you with the detail of the project. But if you do have any questions at all, please do get in touch with me as the module convener, Marion Gibson, the FCH director. Remember, you can ask me about all sorts of things to do with FCH, but one of the things you can ask me about when you're on this module is anything general about your project, and I'll be so happy to help. So please let me know if I can be of any help, and I hope this was useful.